And good Thursday morning. Welcome to episode 62 of the Inside Drive podcast. David Hayes joining us in studio today. Jay is out today, but we've had one half of the normal Thursday crew for the last couple of Thursdays. Talking about some local sports, as there's a lot of stuff going on right now between baseball, flag football, track, softball, whatever it may be. Lots of stuff going on right now with local sports. As we're crazy, we're basically 1 month away from the end of the 2025-26 school year.
It feels like it just started.
It
man.
literally did just
And
start.
I don't even got children.
Yep. No children, and you still feel like it's a quick school year because it certainly is.
But I just show up every year around football season like, oh, here we go, school time again.
Which is literally right around the corner.
Yeah.
What, that starts in August for you?
Yeah, but, we'll have spring football going on and everything. That won't necessarily be us commentating, but August, we'll be getting ready to go.
And the opening game is Bluntstown in the Kickoff Classic.
Yeah, the Kickoff Classic,
and then
yeah.
What?
Then Choctaw, to open up the season. It's a tough schedule. The best part of the schedule, in my personal opinion, is the fact that Bay and Mosley are going to be playing the final game of the year as a rivalry game on a Friday night. And if both teams have similar seasons as to what they had last year, oh my gosh, Tommy Oliver better be packed to the absolute brim.
I don't see why it wouldn't for that big-time county rivalry matchup. Speaking of the county teams, the Bozeman Bucks in the 2A state championship bracket, they open up their first game against Trinity Catholic, which is located in the Ocala area. Bozeman is the 5 seed in the 2A Region 1 side of the bracket. They will, if they win that game, or I should say when they win that game, they will face the winner of Trinity Christian Academy and Florida State University High School. I don't have the date for that one yet, but that'll be where they go after that. And then moving on to starting to learn what classes all these teams are in now. After I've been doing it for so long.
And then it'll change next year.
Absolutely. In the 3A Baseball State Championship, you got several teams from across the Panhandle in Region 1. You got South Walton and Walton. That'll be at South Walton. South Walton, obviously a powerhouse in baseball. And then in the other part of that little bracket is West Florida and Baldwin. And then you've got Bay High is traveling over to Fernandina Beach, which if I remember correctly is in Jacksonville or the Jacksonville area.
Yeah, I want to say... For some reason, I'm wanting to say, like, Daytona area, but...
That may be true, because I think when we were going down to...
We're only one Google away.
That's right. We're only one...
That's exactly... I was going to sing it like that, but I was like, nah.
But anyway, Bay is the 7 seed going up against the number 2 seed, Fernandina Beach. It's got to be in Jacksonville, right, for it to be Region 1 going all the way across?
Or somewhere close, right?
Yep.
But... One bar service makes the Google hard.
Gotta get you connected to the old
Wi-Fi.
The Wi-Fi.
Yeah, maybe I'll start being smart and bring in my old laptop.
You don't want to make Jay feel too bad when he's here.
Ah, come on, it'll be just like old times.
Yeah, absolutely.
He brought his laptop too. He just never did anything with it. It was more of a space holder.
And he always brought his portfolio.
Yeah,
Business Card Friday.
Business Card Friday. I need to bring that back.
So anyway, Bay.
It's in course.
It's in Fernandina Beach.
Yeah, come on. What are we thinking?
Yeah, because I clicked on their name and it just said they're in Fernandina Beach, and I was like, yep, no crap on that one. All right, that is the 3A Region 1 where Bay High. Good luck to the Tornadoes as they open up their state tournament on Saturday as well. That'll be at 7 p.m. And then moving to the 4A
Jacksonville area.
Yeah. Gotcha. I think there's a golf course in that area, too, that's in Fernandina Beach.
It's like at the tippy top of Florida, like top right.
Top right? Yeah. That's where you want to shoot on your goaltenders.
Yeah, yeah, man, dude, these hockey playoffs have been wild, haven't they?
Yep. It's the best playoff, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I mean, gosh, I feel like I end up saying that about every single one. Like, this is the toughest one to win. This is the toughest one to win. Like, be it hockey, basketball.
Yep.
I don't ever say it about basketball.
Yep.
Not saying that it's not, because
it's been wild
it
so
is.
far.
Yeah, it really has, man. Especially 76ers tying it up with Celtics. I'm taking away from local. Let's say.
That's okay. We'll jump into that here shortly.
Yeah.
On the, what did I say? This is the 4A Baseball State Championships. You got an opportunity tomorrow night just to head over there to the Gavlac Sports Complex and watch Arnold, the number 4 seed in Region 1, host St. Augustine. We obviously know where St. Augustine is. So they're making the trip over to take on Arnold. That'll be at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. Rest of that region is also Choctaw versus Baker County, Bishop Kenny versus Escambia, and then Clay versus Wakulla. I believe all the softball district tournaments get underway next week.
So pretty much all of our baseball teams made postseason? I didn't hear Mosley, but I might have been distracted
no,
by.
I haven't got there yet. That's
Okay.
why. Sorry, let me.
Siri better chill out. I hear a Siri
No,
around here somewhere.
that's
Alexa.
it's an ad on this.
Oh.
I was posting a reel earlier this morning on Facebook, and I had to turn up the volume so I could hear what we were saying. So
turn it up.
Yeah. So the 5A state championship features on the top side of the Region 1 bracket is Childs and Ponte Vedra, Gulf Breeze and Lincoln, and then on the bottom side you've got Niceville against Beachside, and then you've got the number 3 seed Mosley Dolphins going to Columbia. I think they're going to Columbia, I'm guessing, because Mosley didn't win their district tournament, and Columbia obviously did, because Columbia is the 6th seed, so Mosley has to travel there. That's the Lake City area. So a couple of our teams here in Bay County got to go a pretty long way to play their opening round game there. And obviously, if Mosley goes on to win that game, that is on Friday night at 7 p.m. They will play the winner of the Niceville and Beachside game. So good luck to all of the local baseball teams as they pursue a Final Four and maybe a potential state championship.
Heck yeah, let's go.
Just got to win some games. That's all it takes. And then the flag football district tournaments are well underway at this point. Did want to talk about the District 1 tournament real quick. I thought some of these scores were wild. It started with Florida State High School was the number 1 seed, and you'll find out why here in a second. And then you had Freeport playing against Gadsden County. Freeport beat Gadsden County 13-6. Moving on, Freeport to play Florida State University High School. They won that one 64-0.
Wow.
And then I had to mention Destin High because Leam's quarterback coach Josh Woodham was the OC for the girls flag football team there in Destin. He's actually now the quarterback's coach at Freeport High School, which I believe is where one of our local coaches went, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe that was Mariana. I get confused.
We definitely had one go to Mariana. You had
that was Coach Pettis, right?
Yeah, Coach Pettis go to Mariana, and then you had Coach Maddox from Mosley, who was the OC, take over at Bozeman. So
gotcha. So nothing, obviously nothing with Freeport.
I don't think so, but you never know.
I think I got Freeport and Mariana confused. Destin was the number 2 seed in this district tournament. They had a bye to the semifinals. They ended up playing FAMU DRS, who beat Rutherford 34-0. And then Destin beat FAMU DRS 37-12. And then Florida State University High School beat Destin 31-0.
Wow.
So apparently Florida State University High School is a powerhouse in girls flag football. And then, of course,
I was gonna make an FSU joke right there, but I'll let the wounds heal.
Yep. Well, they just announced what's his face is going to be the starting quarterback.
Yeah, the kid from Auburn, I believe.
That's thrown almost as many interceptions as touchdowns. In his
career.
know
that quite well, right? Yeah. Being an Auburn fan. So
Ashton Daniels was not anything to be excited about. So hopefully,
another year of growth, being in a new system.
And maybe Mike Norvell is the key to unlocking whatever talent the kid may have. But I guess we'll find out sooner than later.
Nothing makes me feel better than hearing someone with even just Auburn ties having like disdain in their voice about a player, knowing like, good for y'all.
It's kind of the theme, right?
To an extent, man. It's been a tough year for Auburn athletics this year.
Except golf. We're just
golf,
dominating
the one that everyone pays attention to.
Some of us do. You gotta hang your hat on the one sport that you're actually good at.
But no, because normally Auburn will have something, and maybe they've got it cooking in baseball.
Their baseball's
right
decent.
now. But normally they have one sport that's like, okay, well, we didn't have a good football season, but our basketball season was. But like, I don't even think y'all made the tournament this year.
No, we won the NIT.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, see. There you go. That's something to hang the hat on, though.
Absolutely. It's better than losing the NIT,
it's
I
right,
guess.
No doubt. I mean, it's a national invitational tournament, man.
And some teams like Florida State didn't even accept the invitation.
Yeah, which is wild to me. Like, who are you?
Yep.
To not, I just don't understand.
It's more reps for your kids.
It's more reps. It's more everything.
If you're playing basketball, probably you love playing basketball. So why would you not have an opportunity to compete in another tournament? I know it's not the March Madness or the NCAA National Championship Tournament, but
it's
still
the same
basketball.
way as like bowl games.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't make the big dance, so you know what? Let's punish the kids and punish everyone else by just not participating because we thought we deserved to be in a bowl game.
Right.
The committee did not, so please keep it moving, sir.
Yep. This is the 2A District 2 flag football tournament, championship tournament. Arnold, Godby, and Rickards, all 1, 2, and 3, they all had a bye into the semifinals, and Bay and Wakulla had to duke it out earlier this week, and Wakulla got the best of Bay, 20-14 in that one. So Wakulla went on to move on to play Arnold. That was last night. Unfortunately, I had an annual HOA meeting that I had to be at, so I couldn't call this game, which I was really upset about. So my good friend Ian was sending me like play-by-play text, a lot of interceptions, a lot of quick changes and stuff like that. At the end of the day, Arnold ended up winning that one 20-0. Another shutout there for the
still crushing it.
The Legion of Blue, as I dubbed them.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of things, you had Godby and Rickards, which fortunately Arnold beat Godby earlier this season, but lost to Rickards earlier this season. So they played last night as well, and Godby won that one 12-0. So in their inaugural season, first ever girls flag football season for the Arnold Marlins, they are playing in the 2A District 2 championship game. That is tonight at 6 p.m. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, Ryan has her pinning ceremony over there at Mosley Map, so I will not be able to be on the call again for tonight. But hopefully, if they win this one, they'll host.
Why don't you just get Ryan to get pinned at the game?
Yeah, that'd be kind of ironic. But anyway, Arnold and Godby face off for the District 2A or Region 2 District 2 championship game, or Class 2 District 2 championship game. There's too many
numbers.
Too many numbers
We
and
ain't
words.
playing algebra over here. Come on
sure.
now.
But yeah, that'll be at 6 p.m. right there at Gavlax Stadium. Go out and support those ladies who've worked very hard this season. I believe their record now officially, they've only lost 3 games, and one of those was to Rickards. So their record now is, if I pull up their schedule correctly here, come on, Max Rep.
15-3. That's a lot of games.
That is a lot of games, but I think you're not far off.
12-3.
Yeah, it might be 13-3 now. Yeah, 12-3. 3-1 in the district, and technically now 4-1 in the district, but that obviously doesn't count for your district schedule. But some cool stuff there for the ladies, and we'll update you guys next week on the regionals, or the state tournaments for girls flag football, and then of course softball districts, I believe, start next week as well. As we mentioned earlier, approaching the end of this school year, which is pretty wild. All right, jumping over to the NBA playoffs. Just a quick update on everything. Obviously, big loss there for the Thunder. They had the lead. Wemby.
Wait, the Thunder lost?
No, I was talking about the Spurs.
Oh,
I
okay,
looked at the
okay.
Thunder. Yeah, no, the Thunder, I don't think are going to lose a game, at least the first couple of rounds.
Definitely not. I mean, well, the Suns could pull something out of their hat, but just the OKC and the cohesiveness. Anyways, back to the Spurs game, because that's the game that Wemby got hurt in.
Yep, and I was talking to Everett before the show, just was a brutal smashing his head. I don't know, did you see that?
I actually didn't see it, but during the game, I was doing the card show, and someone came in and said, Wemby just smacked his mouth on the floor, and then he came back with the update that he won't be back in the game, and the Spurs were still battling at that point, because I keep the scores up there.
I think they were up by 16 at one point, even after Wemby went out, and then the lead just collapsed, and Portland came back and won that game and tied the series. But I don't know if and when Wemby will be back. It was brutal. I mean, if you just think about like dropping your face on a basketball court without slowing yourself down at all, that's what it looked like. He's actually lucky that he didn't like bust up some teeth or break his jaw or something like that. But maybe
Kid's been so good, man.
He has.
Defensive Player of the Year. He
unanimous, first ever unanimous Defensive Player of the Year.
And just gets better. And the thing that I think will make him generational, because that was the whole conversation, right? Is he's got the talent, that's obvious, but is he going to be sturdy enough, I guess is the opposite word of fragile, to continue on? I think that he's proved to. I mean, he had the deep vein thrombosis last year, but he's played a good amount of games this year, and he's the thing that I think will end up making him generational is how much of a team player he is, and gets everyone involved, and then obviously the defensive prowess is insane. And
I was reading some things and listening to some things. He just loves the game of basketball. Like, he wants to play in the All-Star game. He wants to play for the Olympics. He wants to do all the stuff that a lot of people end up not wanting to do for whatever reason. So he loves basketball. He loves to compete, and obviously the physical attributes. We were watching a little bit of the first game, and the fact that he can like do step back threes and drain them is just wild at his size.
Those uniforms that they were wearing in that first game too, like the kind of throwback, but all black. Oh man, I love, because that's the Spurs logo that I grew up on, was that like purple, the Alamo color. I don't even know if that's the right Alamo colors, but it is like the Alamo with those Southwestern Fiesta type colors. Man, those are some of the best uniforms in the game.
100% agree. Lakers and the Rockets. Lakers out to a 2-0 lead.
That's surprising too. KD second half game 2, nowhere, nowhere to be
Hardly
found.
scored anything. And then who's the guy that's kind of came out of nowhere for the Lakers? He's got a name that I had no idea about, but he's been balling in these particular games. Obviously, LeBron's kind of carrying the team as well, but maybe it's Ayton. I don't think so. But anyway, obviously an opportunity for the Lakers now. Now they got to go to Houston for the next two games. Can LeBron and that squad, I'm going to call them the no-name squad, continue to carry the Lakers into the second round? Think that's possible?
Who is it that you're talking about? Maybe Luke Kennard?
Luke Kennard, yep.
Okay.
Yep, he was making, I think the first game he was like 6 for 6 behind the arc or something like that.
Yeah, 23 points in the last game. That's a dude from like the Clippers back in the day, isn't he? Yeah. So that's crazy to see him balling though. Like he's averaging 8.4 points a game, and then to come out and do that in the playoffs. Again, like I haven't been able to watch a lot of these games. Most of it's just box score.
Because you're streaming.
Box score hawking. So, which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I didn't know Luke Kennard was going off like that. Good for him, though.
Him and Marcus Smart are kind of helping carry the team.
I do. Yeah, Marcus Smart, Defensive Player of the Year a few years back. I honestly do think that the Rockets, because of the injuries to the Lakers, will end up finding a way to win this series. If not, it's really bad on KD. Like, to be in a favorable position like this. Now, if Luka was still in, then I think that it changes the dynamic. I think it changes the dynamic of the West in totality.
Yep.
But KD's got to find a way to get this Rockets team over the hump, at least in the first round. Otherwise, it's like...
Yep.
Again and again and again. Like, yes, you are a really good player, but...
He's not a facilitator. He's he can get the ball to the hoop and he can score, but when it comes to moving the ball around and getting other people opportunities at playing the game as a team, he's not really that guy. Again, that's just my opinion.
Well, and then they only had 10 points off the bench, too. That's...
That doesn't help the cause.
Yeah, that does. Well, shoot, the Lakers only had 6. Holy cow. Like, all...
The Lakers have just been extremely efficient. Like, their percentages, like, I think game 1 they shot 60% from behind the arc and almost 50 as a whole with field goals.
Yeah.
So they're taking advantage of their opportunities, that's for sure.
Well, they're shooting 46 from three-point land.
For the series?
Yeah. Well, just in game 2. Just in game 2.
Still.
Whereas the Rockets 24%, so they will need to tighten that up. But yeah, I really do think that KD and the Rockets find a way to at least even this series up, push it to a game 6 or a game 7. But they really do. I think for KD's, not his legacy necessary, but just for the Rockets to see like this was a worthwhile move for us. Is let's get out of the first round here.
Well, that's kind of been KD's, bounced around kind of from team to team to team, and obviously had that good stint with the Warriors where they won a few championships, but he had a great surrounding cast.
Could.
That team was just so good.
Step into the Space Jam All-Star team.
And then staying in the Western Conference, the Nuggets and the Timberwolves are currently tied 1-1. What do you think about that, David?
That series is, and the Nuggets are one of the 4 teams who I'm like, you can throw them in there, and I think the OKC, Spurs, Nuggets, and I would say Lakers if completely healthy. And again, we're talking about LeBron James, who's not played as many games over the course of this season as what he's used to over the course of his career, which I think can give him the opportunity to come out of the, to kind of touch the youthful side one more time and make a run. So with this one right here, though, Ant-Man and the Timberwolves, they can always find a way to dig deep here. I think this series was pretty good last year. So I think...
The Timberwolves won that series last year, right?
I want to say it was Nuggets and OKC... in the finals last year, in the Western Conference Finals, but I would have to go back and look. Again, this is another one where I think Jokic is one of, if not the best players. He's one of the top 5 best players in the game right now.
No doubt.
And what he brings to the table is just comfortability for the rest of the team, and to see Jamal Murray even in a loss, having 30 points in his last game. I think that the Thunder end up winning this one in 6. You're looking up last year's
Yeah, trying to as
Yeah,
quick as
no
I
doubt.
possibly can.
No
I just feel like I remember them losing. Maybe it was the year before. When
I want to say that it
weren't
went to
supposed
7.
to.
It was one of the best series of the playoffs last year. In the East, there was a lot of good series.
Yeah, they lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves 3-4, 4-3
So it
in the
was-
Western Conference semifinals last year. And I remember cheering for the Timberwolves in the final against OKC, and they didn't even stand a chance.
Yeah.
So it was, I mean, my memory's still slightly decent.
Hey, there we go. There we go.
And on the Eastern side, you got the Magic, I would call them our hometown Magic, tied with the Pistons 1-1. I believe they got a game tonight as well.
No, they played last night.
Okay, so
They played
tied.
last night.
So the Pistons tied it up last night then.
Yeah, Pistons tied it up. Magic stole one on the road. I think that's another one where the Pistons are going to end up winning this series. But, man, that game 1 is always one of those surprises.
Yeah,
I think I like Pistons in 6.
There you go.
And this one, I don't think the Pistons do much damage in the East, but we'll see.
Yeah, on the Western side, you got the Nuggets and Timberwolves that play tonight at 8:30 p.m. on the old Prime Video.
And they're in Minnesota tonight.
Minnesota.
So that one could, Minnesota wins game 1 or game 3 in Minnesota, first game in Minnesota. That could really swing that series. I
doubt.
do like the Nuggets, but you never know.
Never count out the Timberwolves.
Right.
That's a tough word for me to say. And then continuing on the Eastern Conference side, you got the Cavs and the Raptors. The Cleveland is up 2-0 in that one. No surprise there, I should say. And then you've also got the Knicks and the Hawks. They are tied 1-1. If the Knicks lose this series to the Hawks, I know a lot of people will be very excited for the Hawks, but then turmoil again up there in New York City, where there's a lot of other turmoil going on as well.
Crazy for the Hawks, though. They get rid of Trae Young, trade him away, and they, to be at this point 46-36 and in a tied series with the Knicks, who are one of the favorites out of the East, I would expect them to be one of the top teams. Top 4 teams, at least a chance to have a opportunity in the Eastern Conference Finals. But yeah, I would love to see the Hawks take care of business against the Knicks. I'm just not a big Knick. I'm a Pacers guy, so I hate the Knicks.
Yep.
But it would be interesting. I do think that that Jalen Brunson and the Knicks are going to find a way to win this series.
Yep. They also play tonight as well at 6 p.m. The Cavs and the Raptors play at 7 p.m. All those on Prime Video. And then the last series,
Cavs and the Raptors is a series like, okay.
Yep.
Who cares?
And I think the Cavs will have easy work there up there in Toronto.
They're up 2-0. They win tonight, then they'll be looking at bare minimum a gentleman sweep, right?
Yep, absolutely. And then the last series, it's also tied 1-1, is the Celtics and the 76ers. Kind of
I'm really surprised that the Sixers got one there in Boston. This is, man, they didn't have Tatum for majority of the year. He comes back earlier than I think a lot of people expected him to with the Achilles injury. But this is one, not even just this series. This Boston, for the way that it ended for him last year against the New York Knicks, like this is a year for them where they at least need to get back to the Eastern Conference Finals. I really can't see a situation where they're not in the finals taking on either OKC or the Spurs. But that's why we play the game and not just scratch them off on pieces of paper.
1,000%. Game 3 for the Celtics and the 76ers is tomorrow, or excuse me, Friday. Yeah, that is tomorrow, I guess.
Oh, VJ Edgecombe, though, for the Sixers. 30-10 in his last game. As everyone's chasing Cooper Flag and Con Knipple.
Yeah.
But VJ Edgecombe is a kid. Like, I really enjoy watching him play the game of basketball.
Yep, another fantastic rookie for the NBA right now. Like I said, 76ers and Celtics play tomorrow at 6 p.m., followed by their next game. That'll be on Sunday. It seems like the NBA follows a pretty regular every other day.
No, they don't. I mean, they're like, it's more like every other day. Like every 2 days, which is crazy because if hockey's playing every other day,
basketball should be able to
basketball should be playing every other day.
So they're skipping 2 days occasionally.
Yeah, I would say most of the time. Like, so let's say Lakers Rockets. Okay, they'll be every other day, but like that the first round, and I think that theirs is more so TV based, whereas hockey not as. Like every game finds a way to get on TV, but if the NHL can do it, the NBA could do that too.
And apparently NBA is rocking and rolling with Prime Video, which is kind of funny. NBA is on like ESPN and Prime Video, and NHL is like solo on TBS, TNT, True TV, which during the regular season, I believe the NBA is on TNT quite often.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny how they've slipped.
And NBC for playoffs too.
Yep.
Yeah. It's the how to watch sports these days is just like, you got to have this, you got to have that. Like, bro, can someone just consolidate all of this into one? Oh, wait, there's opportunities for that. But
just got to find them. But I mean, it wasn't that long ago. Everything was on cable. And then everybody was like, cable's so freaking expensive. And now, like, I was talking to somebody the other day. If you want to watch every NFL game, it's not just Sunday Ticket anymore. You need Sunday Ticket, which is on YouTube TV, ESPN, Prime Video, Netflix.
Yeah.
You've got to have so many subscriptions if you want to see it. I couldn't imagine being like a bar owner this day and age and trying to figure out how to get all the games on.
I haven't even thought of that element. Like being a bar
I believe
owner
DirecTV still has the opportunity to do all the sports games. I think they have some kind of business contract with them.
Yeah.
But you still, if you want to watch those Netflix games, you got to have Netflix to broadcast that. And the business stuff's always different than the consumer stuff because the business stuff's always more expensive and usually harder to figure out and get.
Yeah.
Which, good luck to everybody. I mean, I know they do a great job getting all the games on TV, but certainly complex, way more complex than it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving to that hockey side of things. We had an exciting overtime game last night that ended up with the Dallas Stars scoring in, I believe, the second overtime period. They now lead that series over the Wild 2-1. They'll play again. Let's see when they play again. Wow, the NHL is so much easier. You just click on it and it tells you the next game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be the 25th, which is Saturday at 4:30 p.m. I love the weekends, too, where they have all these matinee games and stuff like that. The Avalanche and the Kings, no surprise here that the Colorado Avalanche are up 2-0 in that game. Certainly one of the powerhouses over there in the Western Conference. Their next game is tonight. That'll be on TNT, True TV, or even HBO Max, should you have HBO Max and want to watch this particular game.
Colorado is going to be tough to stop. Also, back to Minnesota and Dallas. Minnesota just came out and trounced Dallas in the first game. And so, my buddy, I think I was at House of Henry watching a little bit of that game, and my buddy was asking, who I thought was going to win that series, and I was like, I feel like, Dallas will have this one pretty comfortably, and the next thing you know, 3 back-to-back-to-back goals by Minnesota. I'm like, oh, maybe I should rethink that answer.
Maybe you brought that into fruition the opposite way. Yep, Game 4 will be on Saturday as well. With this, I feel like the Western Conference, it's that conference in both NBA and NHL that is probably the favorite to win the championship in both of those particular leagues.
Yeah. Hurricanes, I don't know if you mentioned that game yet, but they're another team. I mean, they were so hot down the stretch. I think they ended up getting the second best record in the NHL.
Yeah, which was they've kind of been doing that the last few years, that's for sure. Staying on the Western Conference side, the Vegas Golden Knights and the Utah Mammoth are tied 1-1.
I've had the Mammoth make the playoffs.
These expansion teams always.
Yeah, they find a way.
At least in recent time, with the Knights, the Kraken. I don't know. The Kraken aren't in the playoffs this year.
They're not in the playoffs this year. I think that
they were
did.
Last year.
Yeah, they were last year, but that's kind of been their only year. We'll see what ends up happening for the Mammoth. The Kings are a mainstay.
Yep, absolutely. And the Game 3.
Now the Kings. For some reason, I was saying Golden Knights.
Yep. No, they've won one Stanley Cup and been in another Stanley Cup since they've been in the league.
Mm-hmm, which is only 5 years?
Not very long. Yep, that's for sure. And then over on the Eastern Conference, the Buffalo Sabres and the Boston Bruins are currently tied 1-1.
Should be 2-0.
Yeah, agreed.
But Buffalo, I mean, another one of those teams who just got hot after the All-Star break or after the Olympic break, and Boston really tried to find a way to almost give up the second one too. Buffalo come with a late onslaught, but yeah, I wouldn't mind. The Sabres have been a thorn in the Lightning side this year, so I wouldn't mind seeing Boston go ahead and dispatch of them. But we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, speaking of your Lightning, tied 1-1 there with the Montreal Canadiens, Les Habitants. I just don't want to see any Canadian. I want to keep that Canadian losing streak to a
dude. There was a point where the fans started chanting USA, USA in this game. And the commentator's like, okay then.
I mean, it's wild right now with all the NHL side and the Olympic side of things. We swept the men, women, and the Paralympics, and then the last 6 out of 7 or maybe 5 out of 6 Stanley Cups were won by a Florida team. So
yes, sir.
obviously the ice is certainly tilted towards the Americans right now. So hopefully you guys can take care of the Habs.
Hopefully we can keep it in Florida here. We'll see. But yeah, another thing. I mean, the Canadians have been so good on the road. This is a very interesting series for me because one of my childhood favorite players, is Martin St. Louis, and he's the coach for the Montreal Canadiens. So that makes it interesting. But yeah. Really just been beating ourselves with silly penalties, being a little too aggressive, which is one of those things where in the past, I think, past 3 or 4 years, it's been like, come on, guys, be more aggressive. And so they're answering that bell, but to the tune of hurting ourselves. Lost game 1 in overtime, win game 2 in overtime. So we'll see how game 3 goes up there in Montreal.
Absolutely. I know it'll be raucous. Both arenas and atmospheres are so great for both of those particular teams, and the Canadian teams are certainly very hungry and desperate. So I'm sure it'll be wild up there. I believe that's tomorrow night.
Yep, tomorrow night. Yeah, travel day for.
That'll be exciting. And then the Senators and the Hurricanes, as you mentioned before, the Hurricanes just continue to win, up 2-0 in that series, shutout in game 1, and then a close 3-2 victory in game 2. Game 3 is tonight. That'll be on TBS or HBO Max. The series switches over there up into Ottawa in the province there. And then the last series on the Eastern Conference side, I don't like this at all. In hockey, Rangers and the Flyers are a close first and second and teams I hate.
Yeah.
And the Flyers are already up 2-0 against the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Is it 2-0 or 3-0 now?
Oh, yeah, they played last night.
Yeah, they beat them 5-2.
Shit, 3-0.
Yeah,
That makes me even more upset.
Bro, it's crazy because, Caveman Rick's a big Flyers fan, and, halfway through, he's like, I just wish they'd make the playoffs. And they were, at this point, 4 points out. And I was like, bro, I think, the way that they're playing, they're at this point, I think they were 6-4, 7-3 in their last 10 or so, and so it was trending in that right direction. The teams in front of them weren't necessarily playing that well. So it was just I'm so great at math that I was just like, I think the likelihood is is
good.
Yeah,
Washington kind of went this way, and the Flyers kind of went that way, and ended up making the playoffs.
And now 3-0.
Yep.
I mean, dude, that's pretty impressive in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I don't care what round it is to
go up 3-0.
Yeah,
it's pretty nuts. In their first game, they only won 3-2. But they've dominated the last 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh didn't even look like they had a chance in either one of those games. So that rounds out your playoff action going on right now, NHL and NBA. Just a wonderful time for sports. And, of course, speaking of other sports, Jay was supposed to do our Braves update today, but I think between David and I, we could probably handle that. Braves still leading the division, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, they're
big victory yesterday.
They're playing some good ball right now, man.
And the pitching has been great too, which is nice to see.
Well, and that's kind of been heading into the season was no Schwelly, no Spencer Strider, Reynaldo Lopez pitched in 1 game I think last year, and he was coming back, so it was going to be heavily on Chris Sale but that's 1 out of 5 guys. So Didier Fuentes got the start last night, young 20-year-old kid, not the best, but the offense came out and did their thing to bounce back in the second inning, I believe. So they're getting it from all over the place, as you mentioned. The starting rotation has been decent. The bullpen has been, for the most part, outside of a couple losses, shut down. So it's really been the hype was there last year and it got decimated
right
early on, right? And then this year there wasn't the hype there. I at least for me, I was like, I don't know if they're gonna come close to the over/under of I think it was 85.5, 88.5 games won this year. And they've come out and they've done their thing, and the platoon out there in left field, just all of it's been a lot of plugging and playing. So kudos to Walt Weiss for messing with the lineup and not letting it get stagnant. And Dominic Smith playing, Mauricio Dubon has been playing great as well at shortstop there. So it's been a fun season to this point, and hopefully we can keep it rolling.
Absolutely. Walt Weiss was a Oakland Athletic when I was growing up, and I always remembered that particular name. So when he came over to the Braves, I was kind of excited to see that. Braves trying to close out the sweep against the Washington Nationals. Little matinee game.
No. It won't be a sweep because we lost.
Oh, it was a 4-game.
Yeah, we lost. Not last night, but the night before. They beat us pretty good, like 11-4. Yeah, 11-4. Yep.
Okay, I probably misread that and saw it for the Braves. But yeah, they play a little matinee game. I guess that'll be to win the series then at that point, not the sweep. But the series. So that's it. That'll be right after our show at 12:05. And I know you can listen to it on some radios, but if you got Braves Vision, I guess that's the only way to watch it. I was trying to get Jay to explain that to me last week, and he didn't really do a very good job of how it worked. It's like, is it just for the Braves or is it for other?
Well, if you get MLB TV, that's for all of the teams. So, and if you have T-Mobile, I believe you get that for free. Braves Vision is like Braves TV essentially. So I don't know exactly how you sign up for that. I'm still doing it the e-streaming type of way. But yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, exactly. Dana White tried.
That's right.
But to no avail.
To no avail.
How about that White House card for UFC? That's going to be, I think, June 14th, I want to say it is. That's going to be an insane card. They're fighting on the South Lawn.
Yep. That'll be certainly really, really cool.
Yeah.
And then real quick, talking about the NFL draft. David, what do you think your Titans are going to do? Let's just say all the top guys, not all the top guys. Mendoza's gone. But you guys got what, the number 4 pick?
Number 4 pick. What I really want to see him do is go out and get a playmaker, but I think that taking one at 4 is so high where I think you're down to Carnell Tate and Jordan Tyson. Carnell Tate out of Ohio State, Tyson out of Arizona State. I think another guy that I would love to see us take would be Caleb Downs, like a dog defensive back.
Yep.
I think he might end up being one of the best players out of this draft when it's all said and done. But then you go to the exterior or interior edge rushers with guys like Arvell Reese out of Ohio State, Sonny Styles out of Ohio State.
Fun to watch play.
And who's the kid maybe it's the kid out of Miami who's Arvell Reese. Who's the kid out of Miami that's kind of more of an interior pass rusher? But so for me, it's one of those where honestly, I would be cool if we traded. Back, get a few more picks, and see how it plays out. Because the thing is, I'll say about the Titans this year is that they've done David Bailey out of Texas Tech. Jeremiah Love is another guy who I think is generational. But is that what the Titans need? I have a hard time picking a running back or number 3 or 4 when you're talking about maybe 4 to 5. Arvell Reese is out of Ohio State. Who's
Ruben Bain, I think, is who you're talking about from Miami.
Yeah. That kid's but man, they got him dropping. Yeah, Bain. They got him mocked to Baltimore right now. But I really do like the Salah and Dayball.
I'm excited for you guys.
Marriage.
And new coaches. Yep.
Not like Vrabel and Rossini, anything like that. Dude, he's having to miss day 3 of the draft.
I saw that he's going to counseling.
Yeah, I figured that the Patriots would just be like, "That's our way."
Yep. Oh my goodness.
But yeah, so I think making a trade happen and dropping out of that. But if I hate to say it, but give me one of those Ohio State kids, man.
Right.
Give me.
It's okay to say it. They're all been so good.
Yeah, exactly. Carnell Tate, Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese. One of those 4 guys. I think all 4 are getting drafted in the first round. They might even have 6 go in the first round.
In your opinion, a very top-heavy draft, where once we get to this, the second round and day 2, it just kind of, we may not see as many breakout people that we've seen in previous years in like that second, third, fourth round area.
Well, I mean, I think that every time we get away from a draft, we're like, oh, this was better than what I thought it was going to be. Oh, this is better than what I thought it was. And I think that this is what it's going to be because there's just not as many names. Like the tantalizing name is Fernando Mendoza. Now, don't get me wrong. Like there's no disrespect to Fernando Mendoza. The kid just got done leading an undefeated season, winning the college championship. But that's kind of your name, right?
Yeah,
And there's a lot of other really good names. They just don't have like the superstar names, and I think that's because so many names have been spread across the board for good reason, right? With the NIL and with the transfer portal, it kind of balances things out like how we thought it was going to be. And yeah, I think that's why there's just not any dominating names, but I think it's one of those that the further that you get away from the draft, you're going to be like, oh, okay, that guy was good. That guy was good. It's
Start
like the
realizing.
2021 draft, you're like, oh, who was really there? Okay, Trevor Lawrence. Oh, wait, Micah Parsons. Oh, wait, Nico Collins. Oh, wait, it's one of those deals. 2023 draft felt weak till a little bit, but Bryce Young, CJ Stroud being the headliners there, but then you go Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, JSN, Puka Nacua.
That ended up being a massive draft. I mean, there's so many good wide receivers in this draft too that could have that potential to break out like Nacua and JSN and all that. Just going to read a real quick commercial, but we're not going to take a break because I want to get into this other stuff. Talk about Panhandle Credit Union. Quality relationships are what they're all about. Whether it's donating to a community event, sponsoring your child's sports team, whatever they do, lots of fundraisers. One of their employees just had a 20-year anniversary. Congratulations to her. Check out their great banking products, loans, savings accounts, checking accounts, mortgages, whatever your banking needs are, Panhandle Credit Union can handle it. Visit any branch location or head online to panhandlecu.org. All right, David, I tried to have some fun with Jay last week, but you know how that goes sometimes. Kind of goes off the rails, but without you, it doesn't go off the rails as much.
Let's see what we got here.
I think that's just the encouragement. You want to do that one before we get into what's more likely that I sent y'all early because I can't read that.
In 1962?
Yeah. I don't know if you read it prior, but it's pretty
did not.
Pretty interesting. Go for it whenever you're ready.
All right, I'm waiting on it. One of my DMs just popped up. Hold on here.
You're good? I mean, I could.
On May 2nd, 1962, a man was officially pronounced dead by two doctors at an American-operated hospital. His sister identified the body. A death certificate was signed. He was buried in the ground the next day. 18 years later, in 1980, the same man walked up to his own sister in a public marketplace. He was alive. He told her exactly what had happened to him after they buried him. What he described was so disturbing that a Harvard scientist flew to the country to investigate, and what he found changed our understanding of the word zombie forever. His name was Clairvius Narcissi.
That works.
On April 30th, 1962, he checked himself into the Albert Schweitzer Hospital in Deschapelles, Haiti. He had a fever, he was coughing up blood, and described a sensation of bugs crawling under his skin. Within 2 days, his condition collapsed. His lips turned blue. His heart rate dropped to near zero. On May 2nd, two doctors pronounced him dead. His oldest sister identified the body and pressed her thumbprint onto his official death certificate. He was buried in El Esther the next morning. 18 years later, 1980, a man approached his sister, Angelina, in a village marketplace and called her by a childhood nickname that only the family knew. It was Clairvius. He told her what had happened. According to his account, he had been poisoned on the orders of his own brother after a dispute over family land. A bakar, a dark voodoo sorcerer, had administered a powder through his skin containing a mixture of pufferfish toxin and toad venom. The poison introduced a death-like coma so deep that it fooled the American-trained doctors into declaring him dead. He said he was conscious during his own funeral. He could hear the mourners. He could hear the dirt hitting the coffin. Ugh. He could not move.
I hate every part of this. This is why I want to be cremated. I do not want to wake up in a coffin.
After burial, the bakor dug up his body, revived him with a pasta made from the hallucinogenic plant datura, and transported him to a remote sugar plantation. There, alongside other zombified victims, he was forced to work as a slave. When the bakor died 2 years later, the regular doses of datura stopped, and Clairvius slowly regained his mind. But because his own brother had ordered the attack, he stayed in hiding for 16 more years until his brother also died. In 1982, Canadian ethobotanist Wade Davis from Harvard traveled to Haiti and investigated the case. He published his findings in a book called The Serpent and the Rainbow. Zombification is so real in Haiti that it is specifically outlawed under Article 246 of the Haitian Penal Code. The word zombie does not come from horror movies. It comes from the Haitian Creole word zombie. It describes a real person who has been chemically enslaved. That's interesting. So yeah, we could have zombies.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like we're on our way to that if we don't wake up. We were close to it, right, in 2020. Like, here, let me zombify you with something.
No, that's fair. You're seeing so much stuff come out of that now with cancer and all sorts of horrible things. But yeah, the cranberries were right. There's zombies out there.
Yeah.
But it all makes sense because it's Haiti, and Haiti's got all the voodoo people.
Yeah,
no offense to
doubt.
Haiti, but just what I've seen and read.
Yeah.
Haiti is a interesting place. That is.
Wow, dude, that's a crazy story though. Especially, I mean, I feel like we read it twice. The intro basically covered everything, and then there were some details.
The deets,
yeah,
absolutely.
But still, very wild, and to wait 16 years. I mean, that's crazy. How much it had to play with your mind to keep you from, to keep you chemically enslaved.
Yep. I wonder, what was it? It was pufferfish toxin?
Yeah, and toad venom. Yeah. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. If you want someone out of your life.
And we have pufferfish.
All of those things are at your ready.
Yeah.
Jay, let's get something going.
Old Jay Bird. He's not here, so we don't even know about it yet.
Yeah.
Bringing some pufferfish venom and some toad toxin coming up next week. You just don't even know about it yet. These are some kind of interesting things I'll throw out there. What is something in sports that everyone accepts but is actually ridiculous when you think about it? Shit's weird.
Something in sports that is
everyone accepts it, but it's ridiculous to think about when you think about it. I have a tough one.
It is definitely a tough one. And I'm gonna say right now, it's kind of one of the newer ones, but I'm gonna say this ABS challenge thing, man. We just continue to make things easier for the batters.
And then 20 years ago, that would have been thought as ridiculous that's even something that we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Now. And I get where people, but it's one of those things like the human element. We're just gonna continue. Like AI is taking my jobs, but yes, I do want that ABS umpire out there. Like, come on, bro. Like, what is this pursuit of perfection that is not even attainable?
Yeah, absolutely. My thought was fighting in hockey because people probably think it's ridiculous, but everyone also accepts it. But the fact that people that may not even know the sport, they're probably like, that's ridiculous that people can just fight out there. But it's also been part of the sport since the get-go. So
yeah, man, I think more sports need it. Like to an extent, I think football is one of those ones. Like, probably keep those guys. They got weapons at their disposal right there. But I think if you were to allow it to get a little bit further in basketball and kind of amp those guys up a little bit, baseball, like you had Jorge Soler and Reynaldo Lopez a couple weeks kind of getting close to getting at it. Just one of those things where I don't think the suspension should be so heavy. I think it's like, hey, a game suspension. Now you start acting crazy out there. That's different one thing. Yep. But if it's warranted and like let men be men. And I think that is it right? No, I'm not trying to advocate for fighting, but also at the same time, like let men be men.
There you go. Gladiator is for sure.
Warrior.
All right, we'll finish with this. What's more likely, NFL Draft Edition? What's more likely, a QB taken top 5 becomes a bust, or a third-round QB becomes a franchise guy?
I'm going to say it's more likely...
Tough one.
It is so tough. Well, we're talking about one quarterback going to be drafted in the top 5. It's basically, is Mendoza a bust, or is there going to be a third-round guy? I'm like, when I think of the quarterbacks third round, I mean, you could be talking about Ty Simpson. Do I think he's a generational type guy? No. I mean, I loved what he did for the Tide, but I don't. I'm trying to think of some of the other names right now, and they're just evading me. So I would say
basically the question for this year's draft is: will Fernando Mendoza be a bust or not? I guess is
and again, we could go. I think more than likely for Mendoza, it's going to be a Sam Darnold type route. But I think sitting a year behind Kirk Cousins will be the way to go for him.
Yep, absolutely agreed. What's more likely, a team trades up and regrets it, or trades down and misses their guy?
Let's say team trades up and regrets it.
I like that one too. That's what I would have went with. What's more likely, a can't miss prospect or a no name sleeper becomes a star?
No
Or
name.
a can't miss prospect misses or a no name sleeper becomes a star?
Give me a no-name sleeper
agree.
becomes a star.
I agree. What's more likely, Mel Kiper nails the draft or your buddy's mock draft does?
I don't think mock drafts have ever been nailed by anyone.
Your buddy or Mel Kiper?
Yeah, but I'll go with it's more likely for my buddies because Mel Kiper's got to do things to get reactions.
Yeah, his are calculated decisions.
Exactly.
What's more likely, a wide receiver from Ohio State hits or literally anyone else does?
Man, I really do think Carnell Tate is going to be a dog in the NFL, especially if he doesn't have to come out and be a number one. We're seeing these guys translate from college football to the NFL at such a seamless level. It seems like on the Ohio State receivers. Consistently,
just also good. Except Marvin Harrison Jr. hasn't got his stride yet. I guess.
Yeah, but let him get someone that's not Kyler Murray. I don't know. I'm still holding out hope for him. Come on over to the Titans, brother.
There you go.
Link up with Cam Ward.
Why do you think the Ohio State or the transition, not Ohio State, but the transition from college to NFL has gotten so much more seamless? Because you think these guys are playing longer in college now. You think that's making the difference?
I think that it's one of the, and I don't mean this negatively, but I think it's one of the more easier positions to kind of, translate into where if you can run a route, if you can
jump high and have good hands,
exactly, like you can do your job. I think it's one of the I would say that it's the closest to the same from the NFL or from the collegiate level to the NFL level. Where when I'm thinking about all the like defensive backs, now there's not just one wide receiver on the field that you kind of gotta keep an eye. It's all across the board. So absolutely. For defensive backs, linebackers, so many different more plays that you have to call. So I think for wide receivers, it's the closest from point A to point B.
NFL makes sense. A team drafts for needs and regrets it, or drafts best players available and wins big.
Man. I mean, I don't think you can ever go wrong drafting for your needs.
Yeah.
So I'll say the latter.
Okay, I like it. What's more likely, a small school prospect dominates or a big name college star disappoints?
Big name college star disappoints.
I agree about that. And like you said about like Carnell Tate, he's not going in the top 3 most likely.
Yeah.
Maybe he is. So less pressure by being a little bit.
I think the guy with the most pressure on him is going to be ending up going to be Jeremiah Love.
Yep.
And I think, my thing why I would draft Jeremiah Love is just because of like who he is, who I've seen him to be in some of these interviews and whatnot. Like he just seems like such a great leader, a guy that you want in the locker room, on the field, off the field. Those intangibles right there. That's why I would draft Jeremiah Love. But dude, when you're a running back, drafted that Bijan Robinson drafted I think 7th.
Yep, he was in the top 10
overall
for sure.
A few years back. Now, over the course of his career, it's made sense. But in that first year, it's like, whoa, are we sure, that's the direction that you want to go? So, yeah, I think pressure comes to a running back who's drafted that high.
Makes sense. What's more likely, your team finally gets it right or does the same thing they always do?
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say they get it right. I think that they surprised me by holding on, sticking with Cam Ward, going through all of the changes that the organization has gone through, and I think that they get it done, man.
I like it. They're moving the needle for you.
Yeah, and Salah will.
Your coaching staff, I believe you got a great offensive guy and you got a great defensive guy. Now you just put the players in play, the pieces in place, and you should be all
right. And it'll be interesting to see, like, does he end up being conservative, aggressive, or like a mixture of both? And I think that's where, like, as long as Cam Ward's not losing us games, then I think that if we get to 6 wins next year, And depending on how we draft, we get to 6 wins this coming up year, then it's like, all right, I really like the direction that this is headed.
You're moving in the
There's
direction.
a chance, though, that they go 8, like they get up to 8, 9, 10, and you're talking about playoffs, and that could be insane.
It'd be exciting for you. What's more likely, a team wins the draft or realizes 3 years later that they actually lost it?
I think that it's more likely that a team wins the draft, because by the time that next year's drafts come around, they're not going to be worried about if they messed up in this last draft or not.
Yep. Yeah, because you got another one to deal with.
Look at the Rams, like they don't care. They made a whole video about.
I hate the Rams, but they're doing it right, and they're realizing what they're doing on the field, which is pretty cool to watch. And a lot of other teams should probably take a clip from that playbook. Probably do a little bit well. Want to talk about Golf Plus? I shortened this ad down a little bit. Looking to level up your golf game? Then you got to check out Golf Plus right here in PCB. They've got 2 simulators powered by the Foresight Game Changer 2 launch monitor. So you're not guessing, you're getting fitted the right way. New clubs, regrips, loft and lie adjustments, they do it all. Whether you're just getting started or chasing scratch, Golf Plus will dial in your game with the gear that actually fits your swing. Swing by the shops at Edgewater next to Firefly, or book your fitting by calling 850-249-2726, or book online at golfplusretail.com, because the right clubs change everything. And before we get out of here, if you're looking for a dinner spot in PCB or all of Northwest Florida, you've got to check out Firefly. From fresh Gulf seafood to perfectly cooked steaks to one of the top sushi bars on the coast, Firefly brings next level dining experience every single time. Whether it's a date night, a celebration, or just a night out with friends, the vibe is elite and the food never misses. Located in the shops at Edgewater, book your table now at fireflypcb.com. And trust me, this isn't just dinner, it's an experience. As we get going today, keep it local, keep it real, and always stay in the drive, David Hayes. That's another episode of the Inside Drive podcast, powered by amazing sponsors and driven by this community. Please follow and subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, and of course, all the major podcast platforms. Good luck to the Arnold Marlins girls flag football team tonight as they chase a first ever district championship in their first team. I hope you all have a great weekend, and we'll be back on Tuesday talking about the Kentucky Derby, and Greg Gladden will be on talking about the fishing action here in Panama City Beach and all of Bay County. Y'all have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Tuesday.